Dingo Doodles. Happy that we're finally able to react to more Dingo Doodles, because I've missed reacting to Dingo Doodles, because I like Dingo Doodles. Dingo Doodles is fun. You know, the end of the world one that happened with the previous two that we reacted to, pretty entertaining, but...
The comments all said that goes on for a very long time, by the way.
Yes, I heard.
52 episodes or something like that.
Oh.
And it's still going.
Well, we're going to switch it up a little bit, though. We're going to go with the D&D story. Favorite Nat 1's, Nat 20's. So, Nat 1's and Nat 20's are interesting. I've had some Nat 1's, some very unfortunate ones, but thankfully, with one of the Nat 1's that would have been really, really bad, I had a heroic inspiration to undo it.
Disclaimer, house rule, I am allowing them to use inspiration like it's used in Baldur's Gate.
Oh, okay.
Because everybody out there is immediately going to be like, that's not how inspiration works, but that we're playing it like that at our house. So
yeah, sorry.
Because everybody playing in the groups right now are pretty new, so I didn't figure they would ever use their inspiration unless they could use it that way, so...
Well, in all honesty, it saved my skin once or twice, and even when you do have heroic inspiration, sometimes it doesn't work. It's just like JT.
He used all three of his in one go because he rolled shittily like 3 times in a row.
Yeah, and it was unfortunate, but thankfully it didn't have that bad of an effect on him. In truth, the only person that wound up bad from that encounter was me, because I almost died. I literally got hit for 17 hit points, and I had 20, and I was...
Technically, I'm allowing you to use it in an even more broken way than in Baldur's Gate 3, too, by the way.
Oh, really?
In Baldur's Gate 3, it can only be used on skill checks.
Oh, okay, okay.
So, technically, I'm kind of breaking the game for you guys a little bit by letting you guys use it in combat, too, so...
Well, I mean, if you,
It is what it is.
I was going to say, if you
I
want
don't
to take
give
that
them
away,
out
though,
as often as a lot of DMs do, though, so...
He's very, like, I'm not going to say stingy, but he's very, like...
Yeah, I'm stingy with it.
Okay, fair. I didn't want to sound like...
I'm stingy with it simply because of how powerful it is. Like,
fair enough.
So, I mean, I gave it out when it was written to do so in Strahd last session.
Oh, with the...
or the session before last, I believe, actually.
With the children?
Yeah, because
the crypt?
it's literally written in the book, if you lay their bones to rest, everyone gets an inspiration.
Well, I didn't know that that's what I was supposed to do. I was going to take their bones outside the house and bury them outside. You know, give them a proper burial.
You realize there were crypts for the family members in the basement before you went, when you were planning that.
No, so. I didn't. And that's why I was just like, I asked, like, the children's spirits. I was just like, it's like, do you wish to be buried here, or do you want me to, like bury you outside the house? And they basically told me they wanted to be laid to rest here with their family. So it's like, I did, and we got a heroic inspiration because of it. So
I think they actually gave you a vague answer, and you took it as yeah. And
it's like, we don't want to be alone.
Y'all will
right?
see what I'm talking about if we get to uploading our sessions that far in the future, if you guys want to watch. So.
Yeah. We're gonna. My favorite Nat 20. I've told it on a previous one. Actually, going back to when I got hit really bad by that boss, Nick basically did a story beat thing concerning my character, because I told him what my next plan was. I was gonna take a level in Warlock, and I was gonna take the Hexblade, and I was basically gonna become like a Hexblade Paladin. And Nick, knowing this, basically, whenever I got injured really bad, he wrote it in where my character didn't bump up to level 3, but got access to Eldritch Blast. That was awesome. And my first attack roll with Eldritch Blast was a Nat 20. Never gonna forget that as long as I live. Now, it would have been epic if I would have killed the boss, but I did enough damage to where Drew could basically just come in and rip the thing apart, which was also really, really cool. But anyway, so let's check out what some of Dingo's favorite Nat 1's and Nat 20's are.
This video is sponsored by the Seeds of Decay Kickstarter. Nat 20's and Nat 1's are one of my favorite things about Dungeons and Dragons. It's just one of those moments where something
I could have
just
told
goes
my favorite Nat
hard,
1, but I'll do that
either
after
with
the
an
video.
absolutely amazing
wait, what?
moment
So I could have told my favorite Nat 1, but I'll do that after the video. So.
Okay.
that defies all odds. I become a god. No. Or you fail so hard that the gods are just like, you explode. I've been playing Dungeons & Dragons for like a decade now, so I've seen a lot of, and So with basic minimal context, I'm going to share with you some of my favorite Nat 20 and Nat 1 stories that I've witnessed and constantly talk about when I'm drunk at parties, because there's nothing else to really talk about. So I was playing this monkey, and yes, these are going to be Nat rolls for also skill checks, because these are fun. Okay, so let's start off light. This campaign was ran by Gothi's player Avery and had Felix and I. I was playing a little toucan sorcerer named Cooper, along with Felix's character Ludwig, an angsty hellbred with issues, who had a nightmare horse, aka demon horse, with fire and also issues. Her name was Buttercup. Anyway, we had this quest where we had to attend this big banquet and dress up fancy. So naturally we were like, we gotta dress up this horse. Absolutely. So the entire session we spent all our money bedazzling Buttercup. New saddle, new horseshoes, new whatever the that is. She was beautiful.
Reins.
And on fire. We arrive at the party all pumped
Reins
up, ready to show off our horse. Though we're stopped by a high-ranking officer who goes, you can't bring this horse in here. What? So apparently, horses aren't supposed to go to big fancy parties. Cowards. Can I roll for it? You want to try to convince this high-ranking officer that you are allowed to bring this flaming, evil-ass-looking horse to an elegant, noble party where kings and queens attend.
Yeah.
Yeah. Bluff. So Cooper goes up to the officer and says, "She's Ludwig's seeing eye horse?" You can't actually believe that. Nat 20. She had a lovely time and only lit some things on fire. Now, that wasn't crazy, but
That's why if you don't want things like that to happen as a DM, you don't allow skill checks for things like that.
It's just like...
People are under the impression that you have to run a skill check anytime your players ask to do anything, but you are allowed to say, no, you can't do that.
Yeah.
Like,
if it breaks...
Don't do it all the time, obviously, but like if it's really, really stupid and that's not the vibe you're going for and you're going to actually be like... if it happens, you don't have to allow it. But also don't run the skill check if you're not going to allow it either, like, because it feels bad to be like, roll a skill check and they roll a 20 and then it still doesn't work because that's stupid.
Yeah, that is... Yeah, I was going to say, if they roll a nat 20, literally luck is on their side, and at that point you just gotta be like, okay, I guess the horse gallantly trots its way inside. The nobility is in awe of the various trinkets, saddle upgrades, and the new stirrups in the horse's mouth. Yeah, I think that's what they're called.
Now he knows if there's ever a skill check in one of my games, like there's results one way or the other that are possible if I ask for a skill check, so I don't run them frivolously.
Oh no, stirrups are like stirrups are like for the feet.
Yeah.
Is it the reins?
What part are you talking about?
The part that goes in the mouth, like...
The bit.
The bit?
I believe it's called a bit.
Oh, so it is. I was wrong. I thought it was called stirrups. My mistake.
No, the stirrups are the feet rests.
Okay.
And again, but better. So same campaign, different context. You're staying at this hotel with a beloved NPC who's a bit quirky. Okay, but like, do you need your arm? And she found this really big mushroom and was walking into the hotel, then was stopped from coming in. No big-ass mushrooms in the hotel. So, of course, my natural reaction,
what a specific
being
rule.
a caring toucan of great knowledge and oh so smart, responded with, "Oh, that's like her seeing eye mushroom."
That one.
No, you really can't think that this is actually good. Nat 20. So with the power of the gods and science or the devil, the mushroom just grows eyes. Heh. And a mouth. Then starts to hiss. Neat! So I put it in a box later, called it Jeremy, I think, and fed it questionable things. So, that was a Nat 20. What about Nat 1's? My favorite. So this was a different campaign with Gorthan's player as the DM and Julian's player, Felix, and I. Now, I don't remember exactly what the characters were. I played a Pixie, Felix played a Gnoll, Julian's player played a Leopard Archer. Anyway, our group was running for shelter from this deadly sandstorm.
I think that
and
would
we
be
got
a,
to the building where we found some
Tabaxi?
Tabaxi, yes.
bandits. You know how it goes. Felix's character, the Gnoll, named Waffles, yes, it's all coming back to me now, is fighting this bandit and is losing badly.
Finish him.
Julian's character sees this and tries to help Waffles by firing off a special arrow that essentially is like a fireball. Waffles rolls to dodge the area of attack and nat one, which is like, it happens. He won't be that bad. However, we forgot something. Something that was big bad news. Something that Waffles is wearing. A bandolier of 12 artillery shells on it.
A huge explosion erupts from Waffles' bandolier. Is Waffles okay? No, he's dead. No, he dead. He has officially died.
If you'd like to check on him, he's over there. And over
there.
And up there. And I think that's a little bit... That might be his eyeball.
And right there, there's some dust on the floor, I think is like actually part of him that got vaporized by the exploding artillery shells.
Each doing 8d8 of damage,
Ooh.
aka
Death.
the big booms. So naturally my character was like, this, I'm out, and leaves into the sandstorm and gets annihilated. I made my choice. Then just boom, everything explodes, carnage everywhere, everyone dies.
Fatality.
With a total of 400 plus damage done to the room.
Extreme fatality.
Damn.
Fire causes a lot of TPKs in our group.
Overkill.
Now what happens when you mix a nat 20 with a nat 1? Well, you end an entire campaign's plot. That's what. I was playing my mini Minotaur Gurk. I know you have questions, which I will not answer. So this campaign was DM'd by Felix and had the whole Fool's Gold crew. Actually, this was the campaign just before the Fool's Gold campaign. Before the trauma. Anyway, our group was in front of the big bad of the campaign who had shapeshifted into a black dragon and was flying above us doing the whole, like, monologue thing. You all are but feeble, weak mortals who shall never find the artifacts. Even though you... What are you doing? Julian's character, Thrycree, grabs Gurk, jumps into the air, and just chucks him at the big bad. Wait, holy... Gurk comes down with his axe and hits him in the head with a nat 20. Now, in our group, we have this house rule where when you roll a nat 20, you roll again to determine how crazy it is. If you roll a 1 to 10, you do what you said you would do. 11 to 19, you do above your expectations, and rolling another nat 20 is double crit.
Damn.
So that's incredibly low odds, but...
The odds are never zero.
Mm-hmm.
With crit damage, of course. Yeah, well, okay. That's an interesting house rule. Well, I mean, we just do, like, the standard, like, crit equals double hit dice. But, well.
And you roll again to see if you get another nat 20. Because if you get 3 nat 20s in a row, you do an instant kill. No questions asked. God just determined that this specific thing had to die. So guess what?
Thank you. NFTs had to die, yes.
I get 3 nat 20s in a row.
The odds of that are like almost zero.
Astronomically, like, impossible.
Are a merciful group, somewhat, and allow Felix to roll against it. I know, but this is his major big bad. The one thing that this entire campaign revolves around.
And
if
he rolled a
rolls
nat
high
1.
enough, he will just get simply knocked out, not instantly dead. So, Felix rolls, and nat 1. Oh yeah, this guy's just supposed to die. So Gurk comes down like a train of death and does the first and final blow. So, with his dying breath, he falls to the ground, transforms back into his human form, looks at us, and just goes, well, this is awkward. and then gets dragged down to hell by death itself. So yeah, that ended the main plot.
That's one way to go about it. I was gonna say, thank God that, we haven't had a situation like that where it's just been like, because we've had enemies that when we started facing them, you were just like, you literally just like, you don't want to face this guy. I'm talking about the Mind Flayer in the sewers down in Waterdeep.
Not really, no. He was meant to run away. The one that came to mind for me for that situation was you decided to antagonize a shopkeeper that was trying to give you a shady deal with something because you guys you guys rolled a check and happened to find out that what he was handing you that was supposed to be healing potions was poison, and then you called him out on it and you weren't letting it go, and so I pulled up his stat block and I was like, oh Jesus.
he will kill every one of you.
I was like, this was not planned. Like, I did not look at his stat block ahead of time in case of a battle, so it was a surprise to me to see that this guy was like a level 6 caster versus like a group of level like 2s or 3s.
Yeah.
I was like, this is
not good.
He's gonna cast invisibility on himself and his goons are gonna come at you. And he pieces out.
He's like, I don't have to deal with this. I'm going for a walk.
I was like, your actions, in my opinion, were reasonable, and I feel it would be unfortunate to like TPK the party because you guys decided to call him out. Like, I don't feel like it would have taught much of a lesson, and I feel like it would have felt slightly unfair. So I was just like, I'm just gonna have him be like, I'm leaving.
Like, goodbye.
We did play a bit longer, but we didn't last long. But that's like another video. Maybe I'll do another video like this in the future, but for now it was just kind of like a nice break, and I can get back to full scope. Full genocide run, let's go! Anyway, hopefully 2022 is gonna be... You know what? I'm just happy that I'm alive, I guess. Okay, bye.
We all are.
This video is sponsored by the Seeds of Decay Kickstarter. Seeds of Decay is a 300+ campaign setting for 5e.
I like the
with an
artwork.
exciting new adventure, monsters, and
Artwork is
disguise.
nice.
I really like the
A crack is formed in the darkness, leaking decay into the forest, twisting its creatures into a very bad time. Just needs some trimming. But with new classes like the Scavenger or subclass like the Rage Ranger, you can
The Rager. I just call him the Rager. It's just like Rager. What? He's a ranger with rage. The Rager.
defeat the evil in the forest. Or help it. I don't know what tickles your fancy.
It's like someone
All I
called the
know is it
Rager, and
definitely
it's like,
needs
what, you're bringing in a giant party?
Also,
Like,
they
what's
got,
happening?
like, rules for how to play tiny characters, so that's
Oh,
really
God.
cool. Thought I'd just throw that in there. Anyway, go check out the Kickstarter at seedsofdecay.com or click the link in the description down below.
Below.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Mouth sounds. Okay.
I would say I've watched a lot of advice videos from a lot of different YouTube DMs, just to try to get back into the swing of running the games for my friends and making sure that they'll be as good as I can possibly get them to be, you know.
Yeah.
I would say that if I had to guess, most of them would probably advise against using that insta-kill house rule because of exactly what happened there, because they would probably say it's like, yeah, like theoretically this is not ever really likely to ever happen, but if it does, and it does at the wrong moment,
Yeah.
it
that
could
be very
literally
bad.
like ruin your campaign.
Yes.
Like,
Very much so.
my guess would be most of them would say that's not the best house rule to have.
No.
I do like the idea kind of a double crit. So it's like if you roll like 1 to 10, you get your normal crit. If you roll 10 to 19, I would say you get your normal crit, but one of the dice is maxed. So you use the max dice rule, you know.
Yeah.
But I mean, even then, I mean, I don't know. It's like rolling. I don't know. Something like that. But yeah, the double crit idea is interesting where like, yeah, you get basically like an extra die on top of what you would have got again because you rolled a second nat 20, you know. It's an interesting idea. But I think that the third one being an insta-kill, like any kind of insta-kill stuff is kind of like a...
Yeah, it's a bit iffy.
I mean, I know the odds are incredibly low of it ever coming up, but it did, and it did at like the worst moment there.
No doubt about it. My
Completely
God.
just like derailed the campaign.
Completely and totally.
Or just ended it prematurely, so.
Yeah.
And obviously, like, a good DM could, like, come up with something on the spot. It's like, he dies, and as he's dying, he's like, my master will get you. Wait, he had a master? And he's like, oh, he does now.
Yeah. It's like, he has a master? It's like, yeah, totally. That's exactly what I'd planned on.
Mm-hmm.
Fuckers. And just, like, you just hear cursing, like behind the DM screen. Be like, fuck. Uthmore, the Defiler, hit the big bad, the new actual big bad who was supposed to be a surprise, like 20 sessions from now. God fucking damn it, you assholes.
I was gonna say my favorite Nat 1 was honestly the first Nat 1 of like us playing, because our friend Jacob played with us on the first session that we played, and so far my favorite one was Jacob had basically like seen the troll come out of the well in the yawning portal, and everyone else got into the fight and they were taking down stuff, and he was like, oh hell no, and tried to run out the door. He realized he couldn't get out the door because everybody else was panicking and running out the door, so he decided to like hide like basically under a table. And then like it came back around to like his turn, and he's like, all right, fine, it looks like this is going well. And he jumps up on the table and he's saying, you know what? I'm not going to be cowering guy under the table. I'm going to do something about this, and I'm going to help everyone out. And he knocks an arrow and aims it at the troll, and Nat 1s.
Nat 1s. The arrow whizzes by my head and then curves up and goes into the ceiling. And I look back and go, what the hell was that?
It was just funny because he gave like a rousing like speech, like, I'm gonna get into this now. Nat 1.
Yeah,
for his first roll.
And
it's
then
like,
he literally like puts that.
Maybe it's not actually his work schedule is why he quit. Maybe he was just embarrassed that his first roll in the game was a Nat 1. I'm just kidding. It's definitely his work schedule.
And then he basically got Chuck Cunningham. Have you ever heard that about that? Happy Days was supposed to be, you know, this older brother. Chuck was going to be like this, like older brother figure to Archie or Richie, the younger brother. And then the Fonz was supposed to be like a character that, you know, oh, you're not supposed to be like him. But instead, the Fonz got so popular, basically they made the Fonz like the main supporting character because of his popularity, and he became like the older brother figure to Richie. And Chuck basically walked up the stairs to the second story of the house and was never seen again after. Like, it was like they forgot he even existed.
But your party, for the most part, has not questioned like anything about what happened to him.
Yeah, basically,
he went around.
Jakku,
he went around back while they were going in the front of a like warehouse.
Basically, he was trying to be
try
all
to find a
stealthy
back
and shit.
entrance and stuff, you know. That's
And he just
basically
disappeared.
where he split off, and I was gonna have him like show back up because I thought he was only gonna have to miss like one session, you know.
And he was never seen
And
again.
he never got to come back, so dude literally just went around back, disappeared, nobody questioned it.
and then we had the other session where Kate fell asleep early, and we basically had to go on that trek and fight off those haunted scarecrows ourselves. And then when Kate came back, you had her run a solo session, which was really cool. And she basically caught up with us in terms of like everything. And God, dude, that's just awesome to me. Just the fact that you caught her back up, and you know, it was just she had her own little adventure. And if Jacob ever does come back to that, if we ever do go back to Waterdeep after we're done with Strahd, I don't know if we ever will. We'll see, because we're having so much fun with Strahd. I mean, we may just restart Waterdeep. I don't know. Just depends on how long we go without it.
I mean, like, yeah, if we don't play it for a long period of time, I would be fine with that, because to be honest, I feel like I could do it better the second time now. Like, I feel like the longer that we play D&D for, the more confidence I'll have to do stuff even better a second time, you know?
Yeah, I hear you.
Because I already feel like Curse of Strahd is going so much better than, like, Waterdeep did at the beginning.
Well, keep in mind, you were still trying to get the hang of it all.
Yeah, well, I was getting back into the swing of it and such.
Yeah, But
it's like I feel like tying your all's backstories into Strahd, like where I was like, yeah, Strahd's gonna be incredibly hard to tie anyone's backstories into, and then once I really started thinking about it, I was like, I can tie everyone's backstories into Strahd, no problem, even though it takes place in a different plane. Like, I can totally do this.
And you did.
And so I'm like, if we go back to Waterdeep, I could absolutely tie your guys' backstories into it a lot better. I don't know about, like, the current characters. I might still have time to do some stuff with it, but, like, it would be cool to tie them in better from the beginning if we restarted it or something. But
yeah,
it's really up to you guys. We'll see what you guys think.
Yeah, we'll see what happens. All right. Anyway, so, yeah, that was Dingo Doodles. Best Nat 1's and Nat 20's. And we hope that y'all enjoyed. And if you want to see more Dingo Doodles, hey, just let us know. And until next time, I'm Nate.
I am Nick.
Y'all be good people. Take care.